Hello. Welcome to another vlog. I am just about to meet my friend virtually on the internets to do some writing. It is Sunday afternoon and I just spent some time journaling, as you saw, and now I'm going to write for a couple of hours. Probably not longer than a couple hours, to be honest, but I just want to get a little bit on the page for the start of the week. Today I am working on a new scene. So if you don't know, hi, Megan. I am writing a historical fiction horror story that's set in World War I. It is going really well. I am absolutely loving it. I'm referring to it as my haunted project, and it is consuming me in the best way. I'm having such a good time. Last video, I was telling you that I am going back and rereading from the beginning and adding in scenes because I really underwrote this draft, and I realized that I was much farther into the story than I thought I was. So I gave myself permission to go back and fix up some things. So that's exactly what I'm doing. Today I think I'm gonna write a new scene, which is great. I don't know if I'm gonna finish it, but that's what I'm gonna work on. And then once I'm done that scene, I'm going to read this book. Let's talk about this book because I've been reading this book for a very long time. I am taking my time going through it. I have read a lot of World War I books, especially for this project. It is what I am the most interested in, and this book is so good. This is a volume 1 of a volume 2 series all about Canadians fighting in World War I. It's by Tim Cook, who is a very famous World War I historian here in Canada, and it's masterful. He has done such a good job telling the story of Canadian soldiers fighting in World War I. It reads like a movie. It is so vividly written and incredibly detailed, and he's done such a good job, and I'm just taking my time reading this. I have dog-eared so many pages because it has been so inspiring to me, and I'm really grateful that there's people like Tim Cook out in the world because he's written so many books on World War I. And I've actually read a couple of his books previously, but I haven't actually tackled his 2-volume series, so I'm really glad to do that now. It's my goal this year to get through both of these books, and I really wanted to get this read by the end of January, which means I would have had to read 15 pages a day, but since I started work again, I find I don't have the time, so I'm going to read as much as possible today and just take my time with it, and we shall see. But that's enough yapping. Welcome to a video. Let's see what kind of writing we get up to this week. I am going to call my friend and we're gonna do some writing. Also, really quick, I got glasses and I'm really self-conscious about them, but what do you think? I don't really like them. Okay, I'm gonna write now. That was intensely successful. I wrote 3 scenes, 2,600 words. I made it to 50K. Very exciting. My goal for this manuscript is definitely under 100K. As you can see, I'm very tired, so I'm gonna curl up and I'm gonna do some reading. Does that sound good? That sounds good.
Leave the wildflowers to grow. Don't pick it just for your own. Leave it for the ones who don't know, the ones who can't see the beauty that's in you and in me. Leave the wildflowers to grow. Don't pick it just for your own.
Hello. I am curled up in bed with my heating pad. I bought myself a heating pad and I'm so happy about it. I'm curled in bed with my heating pad and a couple chocolates and my tea, and I am going to start Iron Flame. I also have stuff on my face, so if I'm like extra shiny, that's why. I am rereading this series before the third one comes out, and it's coming out really, really soon. So I'm gonna read this. I have not read it yet. I have heard incredibly mixed reviews in terms of the frustration that people feel with the characters. So I'm just gonna dive in and I'm gonna read it. I'm really, really tired. It's Monday. I have a splitting headache and I don't really have any other updates except that I'm starting Iron Flame. I'm diving into Romantasy and I'm very excited about it. Actually, I have a headache, so I'm gonna get my glasses. Okay, here we go.
And I drove 3 hours to feel the rain, 'cause I'm tired of the sun. And every morning all feels the same, but it all the rainy days go.
Hello, hi. I wrote 1,300 words. Feeling good, feeling really good about that. It was an entirely new scene. I read through a scene and then I wrote 1,300 words. What a morning, but it's time to go to work now.
Thing for me in the middle of January. Why am I in shorts? It's still warm. I drove 3 hours to feel the rain, 'cause I'm tired of the sun. And every morning all feels the same. Where did all the rainy days go? Where did all the rainy days go? All the rainy days go.
Hello. Writing is going so well. I think I wrote almost 1,000 words today, and I'm working on a scene that is just so fun to write. It's so fun to write, and there's just a lot of dialogue. And despite my really, really early mornings, I feel like I have been holding on. So I'm very happy about that. But I'm very tired. I've got my tea, a couple Oreos. I got my reading glasses because I am about to call my friend and we're gonna have a little reading party together. And that's what we're gonna do. And it's gonna be fun. I also have my heating pad. Very important. I think the thing that is gonna bother me the most with this book is that I really don't like the conflict between the two main characters. I don't think it is worthy of the attention that it's getting. And I have a feeling that it is going to be sustained throughout this book, and I don't like that. Oh my gosh, so are you gonna start when the moon hatched?
Yes, I have it open as is.
When the roads illuminate, will you lament the paths you did not take?
Hi, I'm home. I'm home and I'm so tired. But I have to work out. I have to move. I have to move my body. That needs to happen. and it's going to happen. But I'm procrastinating right now. And also my bedroom has been moved around and I love it. Tom moved the bed around, and so now I have like a little cozy corner to read. It's gonna be great. And I have so much more room to work out, which I'm really excited about. Writing update. I wrote a massive scene. I've been working on a massive scene all week, and I finally finished it today. It turned out to be almost 4,000 words. I think it ultimately ended up being like 3,700. So I had to go back and split that up into 3 different scenes, but I finished it and I love this scene. I love this scene so much. I just think it has really, really good symbolism. I don't know what it is about this project. It is just consuming me, and I'm loving every day that I get on the page. I just feel something special about this story. I'm leaning into it, but now I'm going to work out because I have to. But let me show you the room really, really quickly. There's a cat on the bed. That's the cozy reading corner. That's my like weighted eye mask, in case you're ever like, what the hell is that? But look at all this room for activities. She's modeling. She's modeling for you. What a great model. Okay, I'm gonna move now. I'm gonna work out right here. It'll be good.
You're like my favorite record, spinning in my mind, your melody. I don't regret all of this wasted time, if you're the only one that's on repeat. You're like coffee in the evening, you make it difficult to fall asleep. Behind my eyes, the pictures that you drew, couldn't resist the urge to miss you. Congrats to you for slipping into...
It is so humid in my apartment right now, and I just blow dried my hair, so I probably look crazy. But hey, hi, what up? There's a cat. I am exhausted. My cat's rubbing against my hand. Hey, back it up. But one thing I wanted to say was, it is Saturday, and the way I am setting this year up is Saturday is my day off. It is the day that I don't do anything. It is the day that I don't write. I don't do anything for YouTube. I know I'm filming right now, but I just need a single day where like it's a day off. And I don't even think I want to socialize on Saturdays. Like I really just think it's going to be like Saturdays just for me, my little home, my little family, and my cats. So woke up this morning and we're making a cheesecake, believe it or not, which I'm really excited about. We're making an Oreo cheesecake. It's currently in the oven. Excuse me. It's going to be done soon, and I am going to go to a coffee shop and I'm going to read. And then I'm going to come home and I'm going to read, and that's going to be the day, and it's going to be wonderful. Oh, hey there. Let's do a little bit of a reading / writing update because it is many days later and I am going to wrap up this vlog with a bunch of really fun updates. The first and foremost is, are you ready for it? I'm not ready for it, but I'm excited to share this news, and that is that I am over 60K. I'm over 60K in my haunted project, which is insane. You're gonna hear my cat because Tom has left the apartment and Roger brings his monkey to the door whenever that happens. It's a tragedy. What was I saying? I don't know how long my manuscript is actually gonna end up being. I definitely wanna keep it under 100K, at least for this first draft. And so I think it is very, very safe to say that I am over the halfway mark at 60K. Bananas. What I've been doing is I've been going back and I've been writing new scenes. And so I think I have one more new scene that I really want to write. And then I think I'm going to stop inserting new scenes, go to the end point where I left off, which was about 3/4 of the way through the plot points, finish the book, and then see where I'm at word count. I don't know if any of that's making sense. I've never written a book this way before, and it's bananas that I am because it's just, it feels like pure chaos. I'm such a chronological writer, so I don't know what I'm doing, but it feels right, and I'm able to keep track of everything. So very exciting writing update. I can't believe it. I can't believe that I'm over 60K into a project, and I don't really seem to be slowing down, so. Okay, let me go through all of the books that I've finished in the span of this vlog because I have been kind of giving reading updates, but I haven't actually talked about like the fact that I finished these books. I think, let's start with this one because this is the biggest deal, and I've already talked about this book a little bit. At the Sharp End by Tim Cook, a part 1 of a part 2 volume series on the Canadian soldiers' experience in World War I. Phenomenal. This book is so gripping, and there were so many moments that I just could not stop reading. It read like narrative fiction. It was gorgeous. It was visceral, and Tim Cook has this masterful way of weaving facts, historical facts, and things that you need to know for the context of the battles with the very intimate experiences of the soldiers on the page. And it is both incredibly grand in scope, but also intimate. And I really, really enjoyed this, and I cannot wait to read the second volume. I am going to take a little bit of a break in February, but in March, I'm going to read through the second volume. And I just highly recommend this if you are interested in nonfiction war history at all. This Tim Cook, very, very good. And I'm so glad to have finished it because I have been reading this book since November 24th, which, you know, it's always kind of sad when you finish a book that you've been reading for that long because it's been your buddy for so very long, but very, very good and incredibly helpful. Tim Cook his work has really, really helped me with my book, with Haunted, in a way that I am ever, ever grateful for because my goodness, the research that he has conducted, it's amazing. So I finished that book. I also finished another book that I have not talked about at all in this vlog, but I've talked about the series before, and that is the Veronica Speedwell series. I am slowly making my way through this series. I do not want to read it any faster because I only have 4 more books in the series left, and I love these books. I'm discovering all of my bookmarks and putting them off to the side. I love this series so very much. It is a series that I just sit down and suddenly I've read 100 pages because the characters are so delightful. The characters of Veronica Speedwell and Stoker are just some of my favorite characters to follow. And this, if you don't know, this series follows a butterfly naturalist who gets caught up in a bunch of mysteries, and every book is a new mystery, and there is excellent chemistry between her and her partner Stoker, and there is a little bit of a romance throughout. It's definitely very slow burn, although it does develop and it feels like we're actually making advancements throughout each book, which I really like. It's not too slow of a slow burn, but I just love them. I love them so much. Do I think that the mysteries are exceptional? Not really, but it doesn't really matter. I would actually read I would read these two characters in any genre, if that makes sense, because they're just such delightful characters. Like, they could be doing nothing. They could literally just be like building a museum together, and I would love it. And it's just my comfort series right now. This one was really interesting. It had a vaguely gothic atmosphere, although not as much as the one before this, which I loved, which I think was called The Dangerous Collaboration. At the same time that Veronica and Stoker were dealing with their own mystery, we had the Jack the Ripper murders happening kind of in the background of the book, and I thought that that was really interesting, and it kind of added to the intensity and the atmosphere of the story. But overall, like, the mysteries are fine. I wouldn't read them for the mysteries. I would read them for the characters. So I finished this, and I only have 4 more left, so I don't know what I'm gonna do. I mean, obviously I know what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna keep reading, but I'm very sad that I'm reading them so quickly. Last, but certainly not least, as you know, I am reading through the Empyrean series. I read The Fourth Wing earlier. I read Iron Flame, and I finished it, and I'll talk about it in a second. I also started Onyx Storm. So, what did I think about this book? Definitely felt like it was second book syndrome a little bit. I knew going in that I wasn't necessarily going to love this book because of all of the reviews that I've read and what my friends have told me. And also, frankly, the ending of Fourth Wing really sets up the conflict in this in a way that I just knew I was not going to enjoy. I found that this book spent way too long in the conflict between our two main characters, Violet and Xaden. If you don't know anything about this series, it is a romantasy that basically follows a young woman by the name of Violet as she enters a dragon riding academy. And it just gets bigger and bigger in scope, and, you know, there's war, there's romance, and there's really good characters. And I also think that there's exceptional chronic pain representation in these books in a way that I haven't read, and I really, really like it because it's the first time I feel like I've ever seen myself in a character in that aspect. But, you know, they're romantasy, so they're not going to be for everybody. But I really, really enjoy the dragon aspects of these books. I enjoy the war aspects of these books. I think it's done really, really well. The dragon riding sequences are just always such a delight to read. Going back to this book, I didn't hate it. I just found it kind of annoying. And that is hard to swallow because it is such a long book. To not really enjoy a key aspect of it was a little bit hard. I will say that it wrapped up in a way that I liked, and also I think it set up a really, really interesting conflict for the third book, which I'll talk about in a second. Things I loved about this book: I love pretty much every moment with the dragons. I think the dragons are my favorite characters, and I love that aspect of it, and I love that kind of relational experience that you get between Violet and her dragons. I really, really, you know, it's easy to read. It's exactly what I expect it to be, and a little bit more. And I would say I don't really rate books anymore, but this one would definitely be a lower rating than the first book, but it still would be good. I would say, like, it still would be like a 3 out of 5. It definitely feels like a second book in a series. It feels like a lot of setup, and oh, we've got a buddy here joining us. And like I said, the ending really set up the third book in a way that got me excited to read it in the best way. Like, I was like, oh, if this is what the third book is about, absolutely, I am on board. And so let's talk about the third book, because I didn't vlog this, but I got the third book. I ordered it originally from Amazon, but Amazon was going to deliver it like 10 days past the pub date. I pre-ordered it. So I don't know what's happening with Amazon, but my husband, the amazing man that he is, walked to the local bookstore on the pub date and got me this edition because I really wanted the edition with the sprayed edges, and he's wonderful. So I got the third book, and I'm not that far into it. Let's see. I'm only 27 pages into it, but I want to say that Onyx Storm is already setting up to be a better read than the second book. Like I said, really, to me, the key is like the central conflict between the two characters, and the conflict in this book is going to be much more palatable, I think, than the second book. I also think that there is just something about the action writing in this book that it's capturing me, and I did not want to put it down, but I had to wake up at 5 a.m. the next day, so I had to put it down. and I'm really excited to dive into it. And frankly, follow this series all the way through to the end because it feels fun to be excited for a new release, and I've kind of got off of binging books a little bit, and there's something to be said about savoring a series. So, very exciting. I hope the dragons are going to be okay. I am terrified for what will happen to the dragons. The dragons are what keep me going. Anyway, that's it. Those are all my updates for this vlog. Thank you so very much for watching. Thank you for being here. Thank you for celebrating with me because I made it to 60K. How exciting is that? I can't believe it. I can't believe it. I'm like, I don't have words. I've wrote 60K of them and I have no other words. So thank you. And I will see you in the next video. We got an exciting one coming down. If you haven't noticed, I'm doing this little every other week upload situation just because work and life, and it's really, really working for me. And I think it's going to allow me to be consistent. So I'm going to stop talking now. Okay. Bye.